There are new questions this morning surrounding the health of Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. The senator abruptly stopped speaking when asked about his plans to run for re-election. It happened yesterday. It's the second time McConnell has appeared to freeze as well when addressing the press. A similar incident took place back in July. For more on this, we are joined now by CBS News political director Fin Gomez. Fin, I think what was shocking yesterday is a lot of people got these alerts on their phone and they went, oh, wow, this is now the second time this has happened. He appears to freeze, and he stands there for quite some time. Senator Rick Scott was asked about this last night on America Decides. We want to play that clip before talking to you.
I expect he'll continue to be Republican leader through this term, and we'll have another election at the after the 2024 elections.
So, in your mind, no need to revisit him as leader of the Republicans until at least 2024.
Look, my belief is he's going to come back. He's going to work hard.
What does this mean for Republicans that their top member of the Senate is having these sorts of public health issues, and they're on camera? They're right in front of us. We're all watching them.
And a little difficult to watch, Jamie. And it is interesting that Rick Scott there said that because if you recall, he did challenge McConnell for that leadership position previously. So, but as soon as this second incident occurred, calls have increased, especially from the right of the Republican Party, calling for questions about whether he should step down. His spokesman said again that he felt lightheaded. That's what we heard before. McConnell has given no indication that he intends to resign either as Senate Minority Leader or from the Senate position itself. If McConnell does leave Congress, his replacement as Kentucky Senator will be a Republican. That's because, Jamie, of legislation that was approved by the Republican State House there in 2021. But again, speaking to some Republicans since yesterday, some Republicans on Congress, they told me that there is some concern that this incident, like the previous one, has happened again. And I think that you may hear more from his own party about whether he can continue moving on, especially in this leadership role.
The average age of a senator is just over 64 years old. It's not bad, but we're talking about people well over that, right? Mitch McConnell is 81. Dianne Feinstein, a Democrat, is 90.
Right.
I'm wondering about this conversation, about the ages of our Congress members. Why is it so difficult for other members of Congress to talk openly about this?
Well, I think it's a little politically perilous, I believe. I mean, you have, look, the voting bloc that we're talking about here, when, we have heard of some criticism before, also from the campaign trail. If you recall, Nikki Haley, the Republican presidential candidate, had called for a mental acuity test for those who are 75 and older. But, there was immediate backlash, especially from the AARP and others. That is a crucial voting bloc. The senior Americans, senior voters, make up a very consistent and regular voters, frankly, that you see at the polls, and I think that's part of it. But also, the fact of the matter is that there has been increased. There has been increased attention to this, and there's even a poll that came out recently, just this week, Anne-Marie, an AP poll found that 77% of Americans also had concern about President Biden's age, who's 80 years old, and out of those, 69% of Democrats surveyed in that poll also share that view. Republican frontrunner Donald Trump is 77 years old and would be well into his 80s by the end of his non-consecutive second term if he were to serve again. But I think that, again, with Nikki Haley and others who have called for that, mental acuity tests, I think that you could potentially hear more of that, especially from the campaign trail and also from, other parts of, the political landscape as, incidents like this continue.
Well, it is certainly something that's impacting both sides, as you've said,
Exactly.
Democrats and Republicans. So
Yeah.
Right.
We'll see.
Fin, thank you.